So we're going to go through how to use Zoom. It is a little bit more complicated than the other programs, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy. So it might be a little pixelated too on your end. Let me know in the questions if it's really hard to see. But so this is kind of your home screen. Over here it says back to meeting. That's because I'm in a meeting. Normally it would say start a meeting. Then you have the join button if you want to join a meeting that's already in progress. And then you have down below the schedule button. And we're going to go through that. So it's very easy to schedule a training. You can change the topic or the title, the date and the time you want the meeting. And then there's an option to have it be a reoccurring meeting, which again is great for staff meetings. You have your meeting ID, so they can generate one for you, or you can use your own ID. Here's where you would set the password, and you can change that to whatever you want. Here are the options to have the video automatically come on for the host, and for the participants, I recommend leaving it off and letting everyone else decide if they want to have their video on. Most people don't like to have their video on when they first pop on. Then you have the options for how to send it. Google Calendar is just the most popular. And then down in advanced options, you have where you can enable the waiting room. So you can toggle that on or off. You have enable join before host, which means that people can pop into the meeting before the host is there. You have mute participants upon entry. I always recommend keeping that one on. Again, just having everyone muted when you start the meeting is just super beneficial, and then giving them the option to unmute if they want. And then I always keep on automatically record the meeting too, so I have a copy of my training, and then just hit schedule. It's very easy. And we'll talk about share screen a little later. So up here you have some more options where you can chat with your contacts. You can see all of your meetings, your upcoming, the ones that are recorded, and get your ID number. And here's how you set up your contacts. Over here's the home box, so you have the date and the time, and then underneath any other meetings that you have scheduled for that day in Zoom. Then you have some settings over here where you can adjust the theme, your reaction skin tone if you want. You also have accessibility and video options. Your audio options. So if the speaker is a little low, you can adjust that there. If you think that you're coming out really loud, you can adjust that here as well. And then there's all the other options. So accessibility is a good one too. That's where you can adjust the closed caption size and the font size. So let's just jump into the meeting and see the settings when you're in it. So this is the host view. You'll see over here I have the participants and I have someone coming in. So I can message her here and let her know if we are starting late or if there's an issue and I need her to hold on. I can remove her if I want, if I don't want her in the meeting, but I'll let her in. So I just hit admit and her video is going to pop up, but you'll see down on the left, I'm still muted and my video is not started because that's the options that I set up. So I have the option to start my video. And I can unmute myself over here. I also have access to more settings. And then over here in video, choose virtual background. This is where you might see people that have the background. It doesn't really work on my setting. You can kind of see it in the photo. To turn it off, you would just hit none and then back out of the settings. So this is how you can toggle the participants on and off so you can see who's in the meeting. You'll notice over there also you can see who's muted. And then hitting the chat button brings up the chat. I have access on who I want to talk to, and I can click that there and then type in a message. I can add a file, or I can decide who the participants can chat with too. If I don't want them to be able to chat, if I want them to be able to chat with everyone, those options are there. Up here you have your views. So there's gallery view where they're all listed right next to each other. You can see everybody who's participating, or just the speaker view. So whoever's speaking would pop up big and everybody else would be up on the top. There's reactions down here. If something happens, I can applaud or I can give a thumbs up, and she gave a thumbs up too. So with Zoom, you have the option to share your screen, and there's the whiteboard I was talking about. If you have other windows open, it will give you more options underneath. You have the option to share your sound, and if you had a training, it would pop up under there too. So I'm just gonna start this training so you can see what that looks like. Close out here, start this training. And it's just gotta load. Here we go. So I'll start from the beginning. This is our online dating and online safety training. So I want to share my screen. I select Keynote and then I hit play. But you'll see up here's where my options go, my control panel. So it just all moved to the top, and I still have all the same options I had before. I can share a new screen, I can pause my share, I can annotate, or I can have other people annotate as well in this option. I can see the chat, I can record, and I can also end the meeting from up here. So we're gonna play. And so now I'm sharing my screen. And so anyone who's in the training would be able to see my presentation. So when I'm done, I can either close out the screen or I can go up into my options. So we'll go through the whiteboard really fast. This is what I was talking about where you could draw. And what she is seeing right now is the whiteboard. She's seeing pretty much what I'm seeing. So she has the people on the side and the whiteboard in the middle. Again, all of my options are up top. And then for the whiteboard, you have options to text, to draw, there's stamps, there's the eraser, and then under format, you can change the color, the font size, and then you have clear, and you can even save the picture if you want. So when I'm done, I can go to stop share. Here's how you would enter full screen too. Same thing, you have access to all of your control panels and the different views. And down here are all of my control panels again, just like in when it's not full view. When I click on my screen though, I have other options as well to stop the video or unmute. And then over here, I want to go over really fast in the participants is where you can invite people or mute. And you have all these other options. You can lock the meeting so no one comes in. If I want to invite more people, there's a few ways to do that. So I can go to the bottom and copy the link to send to someone, or I can copy the whole invitation, and I'll show you what that looks like. So if I paste this in an email, you'll see that it gives the link, and then it also gives the meeting ID and the password. So they could either click on the link and be brought right into the waiting room, or they can manually enter in the meeting ID and the password. And then if we go back to the invite box, you can see up top, it has the meeting ID number as well. I can also go into this option and just send it straight from there. And down at the bottom is where my password is. So there's a few ways that you can do that. To end the meeting, just simply hit end. And then you have the option to either end the meeting for all or just personally leave the meeting and keep the meeting going for everybody else. So that is basically Zoom. Like, there's a lot to it, but once you start using it, you get the hang of it. And it is kind of all labeled, but there is a lot.